More and more people are looking for alternative ways of actually having milk. And if you want to eliminate your dairy product, milk, cow's milk, then you need to have another substance. Now I chose almond milk. Greetings everyone, my name is John Shepkoff and welcome. I do a lot of mentoring and training people, nothing in the kitchen. This is something new for me, but because I wanted people to experience the same thing I am doing, I decided to make this video to share to the world so that people will have a better view of how to do certain things. Now I will tell you this, I'm going to show you today how to make the perfect almond milk without a nut bag that's going to be smooth, silky, and taste really good. Now that's a pretty tall tale to give you, but the only reason I can do that is because of the items I'm going to show you and do. Now, am I endorsing these items and saying you have to go out and buy them? No, I'm not doing that. But I will tell you this, if you use the items that I use, it will make your job making almond milk a lot easier. In fact, doing this video will actually take longer than it has to make the milk, and you will understand why. Now, I need to give you a heads up on certain things that we're going to do. We're going to make 64 ounces of almond milk. Now, if you make almond milk and you store it, put your almond milk, first of all, in a glass container. I happen to use a glass container. It's 64 ounces, okay? You can buy these off of eBay. In fact, that's where I bought a couple of them. I'm the only one that happens to drink the almond milk, so I only needed 2 of them. So if you happen to have more than one person that actually drinks the almond milk, then you're going to need more. And I only make 1 container at a time. And when I get to almost the bottom, where I have about this much, then I know it's about time for me to make more almond milk. Now, the other thing I want to share with you is it takes 3 days in advance to make your almond milk. So you got to be prepared for this. So I'm sharing this with you so that you understand. If you want it your milk to taste really silky and soft, and you don't want your almond milk to be separating like most people's almond milk, you got to follow the way I'm going to show you. And you will get some separation, but all you have to do is shake the container just a little bit, and guess what? It mixes really well. There's a reason why it's doing that. It's because what I'm going to show you and how I do that. Now, also remember this, I'm not even going to use a nut bag like most people. So isn't that amazing, okay? If you want your milk to be smooth and silky, just follow exactly what I'm going to show you. Now the other thing is this. If you make almond milk, remember I said it takes 3 days in advance to do this. Why 3 days? Because you have to soak your almonds in good water, okay, for 3 days. Not 8, not overnight. I have found if you want it to be the idea, I've got this down to an art, it takes 3 days to do this. So you just got to prepare yourself, and you got to use good drinking water. So what I mean by good drinking water, well, I don't believe in buying the store-bought bottled water, because first of all, it's very expensive, and number 2, I don't think we really know what's in those bottled waters. Most city water is good water, but you just need to make it a little bit better. So what do? Go to Home Depot, you buy this item, and it's a water filtration you can put on your spigot, costs about 20 bucks, big deal, and it will do thousands and thousands of gallons of water. It'll take out 99.999% of lead, the chlorine, the bacteria, the taste, all that kind of stuff. And then if you want to go out and buy a fancy unit, which I did get another unit, eliminates even more than that. You can get, I think, to Lowe's, and they have a water filtration. I think it costs like $189, and it's a little bit faster, it's better. But the one at Home Depot, in most places, is 20 bucks. You screw it on, you know the one I'm talking about. Get that, it's pretty cheap. So rinse and soak your almonds for 3 days. It's very important, and you need to do this about 3 or 4 times. The more times you rinse and soak, the better it will be, okay? If you can only do it twice a day, okay, that's pretty good, but do it. If you can do it 3 times or even 4 times, it's even better. It's just like when you make beans, okay? You need to soak your beans at least 3 days. And I have found soaking beans for 3 days actually works better than overnight. Now, so I've got this down, and I know some people say, oh, 8 hours. I'm telling you, it doesn't work. 3 days. Trust me, it works better. Now the other thing is, I'm going to make 64 ounces, which is and this is a glass container. This is a milk glass container. And you can get these on eBay, or I think I actually bought this on the internet. I couldn't find it. These are brand new when I bought it. I bought a couple of them, and it's a glass. It's made out of glass. And I'm telling you this, milk tastes better out of a glass than out of a metal container or a plastic container or a paper cardboard container that's waxed, okay? Trust me, glass is better. Go out of the store and buy something. I think this milk container, I got 2 of them. It cost me 15 bucks and included shipping. I can't give you the place. The other thing that we're going to use is I use New York maple syrup, and this is grade B. Now I can tell you where I bought this. It's called Emerson's Maple Farm, so it happens to be in New York. Great stuff. I use maple extract and water. That's it. Now the process how I do it, that's another thing, okay? So you understand that. Now, what's the trick about this? Okay, well let me tell you, okay? When I make 64 ounces of milk, I use 3 cups of raw almonds. Now, by the way, when I buy almonds, I buy 50 pounds at a time. It's cheaper that way, and I do buy those off eBay, okay? And so I take 3 cups of dry raw almonds, and I soak them for 3 days. Remember I told you, rinsing in between. 3 cups. Now, the other question you probably ask me, well, how much water are you supposed to use? Well, I got this down, excuse me here, sorry, is I use 4.5 cups of cold water, okay? It's important. Why do I use cold? Well, first of all, if you wanted to drink your milk, then at least you're going to have some cold milk, right? So I like cold water out of the refrigerator, which has been filtered, right? Remember that. Always filtered. Yeah, don't buy store-bought stuff, okay? So 4.5 cups of water, and then I just put the cold water in the container already. So I have, this is 4.5 cups. It's about right there. This is a 64 ounce. This is 4.5 cups of water, cold water. Maple syrup, how much am I going to use? I'm going to use 2 tablespoons, and the second tablespoon, I let it roll off just a little bit, okay? And then I use vanilla extract, and you can buy that in the store. And I use a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay, so what am I using again? Okay, and the reason I'm saying these, I repeat myself more than once, is because first of all, people don't catch it the first time. And the second thing I notice is most people don't give out the measurements. I'm always amazed. It's like, how much are you supposed to? I saw them pouring it, but no. Okay, I'm telling you. So we're going to use 4.5 cups of cold water. Okay, and when you get really good at it, you can see how much it is, and you just pour it in there. And at the beginning, you're going to have to use a container, and you're going to have to measure 4.5 cups. It's very important you get the measurements down. We use raw grade B maple syrup, and I actually get this in New York off the internet when I buy it. And at the store I just buy, it's called vanilla extract, and we use a half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of the grade B maple syrup. And when it comes to the second tablespoon, I let it roll over just a little bit, okay? And we use 3 cups of raw, dried, when you soak them. How much will it produce? Probably produces about a little over 4 cups of almond, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I just know the dry measurements, let it soak, and that's how you do that. Now, this item here, this is, if you ever heard of the Juice Man, you can just type in the internet, it's Juice Man, it's Jay. He built his own Power Grinder Pro, and it does almonds. It supposedly does wheatgrass, but I personally don't like it, so I use my own stuff back in the background. I grow my own wheatgrass. I would tell you this, it's the best thing. What's wheatgrass for? It extracts all the garbage out of your body, you might say, and you start out about 1 ounce. You try to work up to 2 ounces, and it's very good for you. It has just about, I think it has 900 vitamins and minerals in wheatgrass. This is that amazing. You still got to take vitamins, of course, but what I'm trying to say is you can get almost all of your vitamins. It takes out the heavy metals out of your body in wheatgrass. Enough said about that. We're talking about almond milk, okay? Now, And then when it comes to liquids, we're using 4.5 cups of cold water. This is from Jay's, the Juice Man I call him. The Power, it's called the Power Grinder Pro Jay, and I bought this off the internet. And I will tell you this, it's the best juicer I've ever seen. It supposedly does wheatgrass through it. I personally don't care for it. I use my own item that I use for, I use electric to squeeze the juice. It does better. But some people, if they want to do it, that's fine. And the other thing is, I use what's called, and you're probably seen this container here, this is called a Vitamix Super 5000. What it does, it turns really fast. Okay, so I've named all the different items, how to, like I said, me talking about this, me telling you what I do, takes more time than it actually is going to take for them to actually make this. So let's go ahead and start this, how to do this. So what I'm going to do is, when I turn the machine on, it's going to be probably loud. Sorry about that, nothing I can do about that. I put in about 1 cup at a time, and I put it in this area here, and then what will happen is that we will, excuse me, let's say this again. I will put the almonds in this chute. This here is where I'm going to add my liquid, and you're going to see the milk come out of here. So it's pretty quick. So let's get started on this, and you'll see, and then once it's made, I'll put my ingredients. Once the ingredients are in, I'll put it through the Vitamix, mix it up a little bit, and then I'll put it into this container, which is the original that has the cold water. So let's see how it works out. Like I said, the longest time is actually talking about this. When you see me do it, it's going to be very quick. You're going to be amazed how fast this is. And no nut bag. Remember that, no nut bag. It's going to be smooth and silky. And I can promise you this, it's the best thing. In fact, I think it's cost me about 25 cents to make this here. Pretty inexpensive. If you've seen how much almond milk costs at the store, you're going to fall out of your chair. I know when I first looked at it, I was going, wow, you got to be kidding. I'll try this on my own. And I found out that with the way I make it, tastes a lot better. And it doesn't separate like most people's I've seen do it. And that's because the way I've told you everything about soaking it for 3 days, remember, and in the process of using this, because this will actually make our nut milk. Okay, you don't have to squeeze any, because all the stuff that's fine is actually going to go in this container, so you don't have to worry about that. And I see people using nut bags. It's funny how they do that. And then I use this powder. Now, why do I use the powder, this Vitamix? Well, I use it because I want to really mix it up really well. And that just gives it that little, because remember, I'm going to put my maple syrup in there. I'm going to put my extract vanilla. And so I want things real blended. And then when it's all there, when I do, I just have to shake it just a few little times. And guess what? Back to it looks pure white again. Okay. So anyway, let's get started on this. Enough said. Let's see how I do it. And you're going to see exactly how long it takes. You want to do is you want to let this grinder grind the almonds a little bit. When you hear it, it looks like it's starting to, the sound